Okay, so I've been kind of inspired by the collection videos that people have been posting on Facebook and YouTube. So I thought that I would do a video collection tour of my resin collection. And I apologize ahead of time if I mangle anybody's names, both painter or sculptor or customizers. So we'll just start up here. These are my indies. There's actually three more that are part of the collection but aren't here right now. Two are out being customized and or painted, and one is already painted, but I'm doing time payments on them. So we'll start up here. This indie is painted by Jennifer Scott, and all the indies are painted by, sculpted by Sarah Rose. And you'll find that most of the stuff in my collection is either sculpted by Rose or Eberl. So the second guy here is painted and customized by Tara Loisel. And this guy is painted and customized by Stephanie Mashaw. And this guy is actually my very first commission back in 2007. He's by Cindy Williams. And this guy here is painted by Carol Williams. The Rose Morari in the front there is painted by Jennifer Scott. And this is an Eberl mini nugget painted by my best bud, Karen Lloyd, her first commission that she took. And this is a Mindy, sculpted by Sarah Rose and painted by Karen Gesbrecht. And this is a Sarah Rose Reveler, painted by Heather Bullock, who's like my favorite painter. I love her work. And then we'll go down and just continue with the indies. So this indie here is painted by Shane Langbauer and customized by Amanda Brock to a swishy tail, which is really awesome. And this indie is painted by Kristen Wellman, I believe. So those are the 7 that are home. Like I said, there's 3 more out. These 3 guys are all imps, sculpted by Sarah Mink. And this first one here is painted by Josie Burks. This one is painted by Liz Shaw. And this one is painted by Gretchen O'Neill. And then we have an Orion resin sculpted by Stacy Tomlinson and painted by Shane Langbauer. In the back is one of Mindy Berg's older pieces, actually. She had only just started painting, I think, when she painted her. That's Calamity Jane, sculpted by Sarah Isherwood and painted by Mindy Berg. And then we have an Aziam resin in the back, sculpted by Eberl and painted by Heather Bullock. Customized by Raven Brewer. He's got a different mane, tail, in his face. Raven did a lot of work on his face. Then we have 2 Hillingar resins in the front. They are both sculpted by Sarah Mink. This first one is painted by Zoe Antrovis. To like the most awesome constellation unicorn. I love them. And this one is painted by Kristen Simelli. And then we have these guys in the front, all sculpted by Sarah Rose. Told you there'd be a theme. These 2 are Poquitos. The one on the left is painted by Jamie Baker. This guy here is painted and sculpted by, oh no, I'm totally blanking on the name. I'll have to add that in. Oh my goodness, totally. Danielle Feldman, I think, actually painted him. This guy here is a Little Lone Star resin painted by Hilary Schwaffel. And then another Poquito painted by Denise Gamar. He's actually an Appy, but he's white and the flash is kind of washing out his spots. Then down here, these are all sculpted by Sarah Rose. We have Working Girls in the front and then Big Lone Stars in the back. That guy there is painted by Carolyn Boydston. That is painted by Jennifer Danza. These 3 ladies here, again, are all Working Girls. The Appy on the left is a Summer Prosser piece, as is the gray. And then this guy here is, or girl I should say, is painted by Lauren Morris. And the sculpting work is done by Becky Turner. Then we have a Capriole resin. I believe it's Kelly Seeley sculpted him, painted by Shane Langbauer. Okay. We have a Wico resin painted by Summer Prosser and sculpted by Eberl. These guys are actually all Eberls. The 2 drafters are Valentin 1 This guy here is painted by Carol Williams, and this one is painted by Kate Schick. And then this is a Rosita resin painted by Liz Shaw. Phenomenal piece in person. And then down here, the unpainted lady in the back is an Ebril, the Welsh Pony resin. Then we have a Basilicum painted by Lauren Hoffer. Scampolo painted by Tracy Robertson. This is a Ceramic Dante resin painted by Jamie Baker. And then a Breyer Custom Frolicking Foal by Karen Lloyd. There. I do have one china in my collection. I believe he's a Galileo resin. He's a one-of-a-kind by Horsing Around. A Bill medallion sculpted by Raven Brewer and painted by Sheena. There. And then we got down here, we have an unpainted Woolly Willem resin sculpted by Josine Vingerling. A Stacy Tomlinson Aerosmith painted by, having a total blank, Nikki Button. Nikki O'Neill. We have an Inga resin sculpted by Ebril, painted by Heather Bullock. A Sarah Rose sculpted carousel horse. Oh, there's only like 30 of them out there. He's painted by Nian Wagner. Very cool. A unpainted Cumulonimbus resin sculpted by Anna Dobrowski Ozeko. He's really neat. A Valor resin painted, and the tail and mane have also been customized. He's done by Karen Gesbert. And then in the back, there's an unpainted Sioux resin by Ebril. So that's the first one there. Pretty cool. And over here, I have the I don't remember his name, by Carly Parks. He's painted by Heather Bullock. So very cool. Takeshi, that's his name. So that's that section. And then we have one more cabinet. These guys are all sculpted by Sarah Rose. You have Affinity in the back, the Chestnut by Summer Prosser. This very awesome guy here, who's actually been customized to a guy. Affinity sculpted as a girl, by Georgia Paget. Sorry, Georgia, if I murdered your last name. Moxie here, she is painted by, I believe, a Russian artist, Anna Zarowski or something like that. Very cool in person. We have a Sarah Rose Brioso, painted by Carolyn Boydston. A Summer Prosser painted and sculpted Ursus Major. Sarah Rose sculpted Mini Chemo resin painted by Nikki Button or O'Neill. There. Then on this shelf, it's kind of like a whole mix of stuff. We have in the back a Ceramic D'Artagnan resin painted by Nikki Button. I believe she's customized with a new mane. This is Morgan Kilbourne's mini hazel resin, painted by Nikki Button. I think Nikki did the mane as well on her. In the back, we have a Tumblebead resin, done by Maggie Bennett, painted by Heather Bullock. Josine Fingerling sculpted Abrantes resin, painted by Sarah Bieber, I think it is, or Baber. Very cool piece in person. This guy here is an Ebril piece. I'm blanking on the name of the sculpture. Bacardi, I think it is actually. Painted by Nikki Button. This piece here is a Sarah Rose Oberon resin and painted by Paige Easley Patty. Phenomenal color in person. Over here, we have this big dude. This is a Bogaki Equus Maximus, who's been pretty customized. He's got a new mane and tail. His ears are actually forward. The Scotch shoes are gone, and they've been completely resculpted. Those shoes are actually sculpted. They're not metal shoes. They're sculpted on. He was painted and customized by Amelia Carilla. He's just phenomenal in person. I waited 6 years for him, and he was worth all of it. These guys here, these are Jezebel resins. The light gray is painted by Jennifer Reed. The darker gray is painted by Heather Bullock. These two are Tornado resins, both Ebrils. And if I didn't say it, by the way, the Jezebels are Sarah Rose sculpts. These guys are sculpted by April, and this guy here is done by Heather Bullock. Do a nice flea bitten gray. This guy's been customized by, I think, Nikki Button. Can't 100% remember on that. Painted by Lauren Morris. We go down to this shelf. The Scarlet has been customized. I believe Stacy Tomlinson customized her. She has a swishy tail. It's hard to tell. And an ear twitched, which I love the ear twitch on Scarlet instead of both ears forward. Painted by Heather Bullock. We have another Heather Bullock piece. This is Tiny. That's my mother's favorite piece in my whole collection. We have a Mulinette resin. Sculpted by April. By the way, Tiny was sculpted by Sarah Rose. The Mulinette resin is sculpted by April, painted by Nikki Button. Here we have a Sarah Rose Oberon resin, painted by Heather Bullock. Another Mini Lone Star, painted by Heather Bullock. Here we have a resin by Raja, that's who it is. Raja by Jen Scott, painted by Jen Scott. This is a Mini Nevada, sculpted by Sarah Rose, painted by Jamie Baker. Ebril Adonis, painted by Heather Bullock. Told you could see a pattern. Mini Haggis, sorry, not Mini Haggis, Big Haggis, sculpted by, oh boy, I cannot remember on him. I wanted to say Kathleen Moody, but that's not who it is. But painted by Carol Williams. There. We have a Sarah Mink Spinnaker, painted by Nina Bikram. There. Almost there. Next shelf, we have Stormwatch, painted by Cindy Williams, sculpted by Sarah Mink. Another Nevada, Sarah Rose piece, painted by Lauren Morris. Cute little customized mini Winnie there. Totally blanking on who customized that. We have 3 Sarah Rose Oberons. The guy on the left is painted by Jen Danza. The one in the middle is painted by Deborah Lovelace. And the one on the right is painted by Josie Burks. There. We have a Mini Lone Star. He's actually sold on time payments, and he's a little tippy, so I just have him laid over. But he is painted by Jamie Baker, sculpted by Sarah Rose. A Mini Anise that, or Annis, I believe is the correct pronunciation, by Jen Scott. I won her at the Jennifer show, so very cool. Little Man Mango, sculpted by Morgan Kilborn and painted by Jennifer Olp. A Sarah Rose UVM Yesteryear, painted by Jen Scott. There. And on the last shelf, we have the 2 big guys. They are 1/6 scale, and they're both Shoguns, sculpted by April, both customized. This guy's a little more true to the original sculpt. They were both customized by Charlotte Donahue, and both painted by Nikki Button. So very cool, very handsome gentleman there. Then you got the drafter in the front. That is a Sarah Rose Andre resin, painted by Heather Bullock. I believe her first piece in oils. And then an April, I think it's a Kaylee, is that how you pronounce it? Painted by, and I am blanking. I'm so sorry that I'm blanking. I'll add that in. But there you go. Very cool. Collection tour.